Hello guys and welcome to this Path to Nowhere video. Today we are talking about the Umbra champions. These are basically the assassin type champions in this game. Personally, I use a couple of them all the time, and all of the champions are pretty good, I would say. Now I will start with the S rank sinners that I have. I think I have every single Umbra champion in the game except one that hasn't come out yet, so yeah. Let's talk about the first one, Crashe, or whatever how do you pronounce this? Sorry about that. She is very unique, and I love her kit because her A1 is probably one of the only abilities in the game that can hit multiple grids, and basically she can hit every single target in this area. Every single auto tank, she hits every single enemy. So this is insane as a AoE damage dealing thing. So put her behind the tank and she will hit every single enemy in front of her. This is just an insane A1 ability, probably one of the best ones in the game. Doing pretty high damage. No, she doesn't have that high attack speed, but overall this A1 is main reason that I use her, so I max this ability as much as possible. Alright, amazing. This alone, incredible. Then her ultimates, she basically become hidden so no one can target her, and then after a couple of seconds she can activate the ability again, and when she does a big hit in the same kind of formation as this, dealing 400% attack damage, not that high, and 4 grid, even longer, and 1 core damage. So this is also cost 15, so she can do this quite often. For each second she is in the stealth, she gains additional ultimate damage, which can stack up to 60%. But if there's a single target that she can hit with A1, it is not worth just stacking this up for no reason. And if she is in this thing that you stack this up, she cannot be targeted. But if you move her, you cancel this. So be careful about that. But it's a really good thing to just hit multiple cores quite often, because this only costs 15. So really nice. And every 6 seconds she is in the ultimate. She gains another Shadow Blade that does even more damage. So yeah, I personally would not really wait, but of course if you know there's going to appear an enemy that is really hard to deal with, you can let her stand in a place, use the ultimate, she's going to stay there stealthed for about 12 seconds or something, and then when they appear she's going to boom. Well, you have to activate this, that is pretty okay, so activate it and it will do a huge nuke on the enemy. Really massive damage. For each shadow lost during the battle, she gains even more ultimate damage. So the ultimate can deal insane damage, but personally I only use her mostly for the A1 and just use this, activate it and recast it instantly, because the additional damage is not worth waiting for. Right. Also with this, attack plus 10%, really good. Maximum number of shadows plus 1 from 2 to 3. Good if you use her for that ultimate ability, but the problem is you cannot move her. Yeah, so you cannot move her, that will instantly so that's the big problem. If you could move her, you can hide her in a corner, use this, wait for a big target to appear, and then move her in that square and then use it, but that's not possible. So yeah, but overall, insane champion, insane A1 ability, really unique. Alright, next one. Bai Yi, a really good core break champion. She does some decent damage, because she can also gain some additional crit rate from her kit, but mostly her ultimate ability has a pretty high cost, but when you activate this, you can just activate this. I recommend, once she has this available, activate it, because once it is activated, it doesn't do anything right away. But when you move her, she will do some damage and 1 core damage to all enemy within a cross area. The cross area is this, so she will do a core break. on her next 3 movements. Basically, she can break 3 cores with this, or do 3 core damage. And every time she moves, she gains a crit rate bonus for 10 seconds, and it can stack. So if you move her 3 times in a row, you gain 45% increased crit rate. Pretty cool. So after that, she will do some high damage. And that scales pretty well with some areas where, you know the things with damage against core broken enemies increased by 50% or something. That is really good with her as well. She can do some massive damage. She becomes poised if she has stayed out of stayed put for 10 seconds. So if she's stationary, so you can use a stacking thing that gives her attack bonus. Alright. And it is her crit rate is increased of 10% when she deals a critical hit. She gains 1 energy per 4 seconds. Oh, this is just she has 20% more crit rate base. That's it. And when she deals hit, she gains some energy. Pretty cool. Pretty decent damage deal by breaking the core. Crit rate is increased by 50% for 10 seconds. So basically, if this procs, she has 100% crit rate or more. So breaking multiple cores doesn't increase this, but yeah, she basically can have 100% crit rate at some point. And with the crime brand, because you can reach over 100% crit rate, every point of crit rate over 100 will be turned into attack. And this maxed, it will turn 1 to 1. So she can do some really high damage once she breaks some cores. And she can break 3 cores, do 3 core damage really quickly. I use her if there's some really important core breaking stuff. I use her all the time. Labyrinth. She is a B rank and one of the best core breaking champions in this game. Because this ability here, this can stack up to 2 times, so it only costs 20. It's the same. To get 2 stacks, it's the same time as Bai Yi to get her ultimate. But when she gets this, you can click the thing and move her to a location, and in that location she will do the core break in this same fashion, I believe, and move to the target grid and deals to all enemies 5 times. Yeah, this fashion here skill. This is the skill range, so it's kind of similar to Bai Yi, but the ultimate itself move her. So this will not use any of your moves. So basically, quite similar to Bai Yi. And it can deal a decent core break, and she gains more damage if she attacks people from behind. What is this again? And yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. Ultimate resets a charge because she can have 2 charges, and she resets 1 charge after she breaks a core. Because this can actually be insane, because sometimes there are a lot of enemies with a core at the same time coming out for 2 different exits. So she can potentially break a core, then jump to the other side, break a core. So she can do insane amount of core breakage if there are multiple enemies all over the place with cores that can be broken. And if you position it correctly, she can break multiple cores at once and get this reset and just jump around and potentially be one of the best core breakers in non-boss stages. Insane. And with this, what is this again? Yeah, she can do some percent max health damage if she hits people from behind, I believe. Yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, she is one of the best core breakers in this game. Especially with this, when you get the resets, insane. Alright, Gekka Bijin. She is one of the most hot champions in this game. And instead of getting energy over time, she has to get every energy by attacking enemies. So she needs to be constantly hitting people. That is a positive and a negative, because she can get more energy quickly. But you have to hit people. So, her core break only hits the highest health enemy in a square, but she does pretty decent damage with this. And with this upgraded, she can do 2 points of core break damage in 1 hit. And I think this can also be stored up to 2 times. So you can let her hit people, store this up 2 times, and when suddenly there's a target with 4 cores that you need to do 4 core damage, she can do 2 damage, then use it again, and do even more damage. Yeah, pretty cool. When she performs a headbutt, yeah, when she hits a target, she has hit her with her ultimate, basically a boss target normally. She will do additional damage if she use a headbutt on an already target she already hit with this. So pretty good single target damage right there. And attacking the Assassin's Mark, she get attack speed. Right, so this is pretty good against bosses, I think. Pretty underrated because she can do 4 core break damage at once. Pretty insane, in my opinion. And when she does the Assassin's Mark on an enemy, they take additional physical damage equal to 8% of the total damage they take while the mark lasts. This is also pretty insane because if you have other physical damage dealers, you increase their damage as well by 8%. So against bosses, she is really, really, really good, increasing all your team's damage and doing a lot of core break damage. Really nice. Alright, Sumire, I have not tried her or used her at all. I only read her kit once. So she will do physical damage in a 4 long square, hitting twice and dealing 2 core damage. Quite similar to Crashe, but hits twice. Cost pretty high. Sorry about that. But yeah, pretty decent. If there are multiple enemies in a row, she can do a lot of core damage to multiple people. Every 16 seconds, she will do a massive damage to a target. The 2 grids ahead, is stabbing, yeah, blah blah blah. Putting out the mark, that's, yeah. So basically, if she just stands in the back, and every 20 seconds, well, 16 seconds, you can move her, and she will do some massive damage in that 2x2 square, I think it is. Receives 10 damage to enemies. Yeah, she will do additional damage to enemies in front of her. Because damage over lives on the battle, yada yada yada. So, pretty decent on some maps where there are long corridors with multiple people with cores that she can break at once. Then she's pretty decent. 2 core break damage, not bad, and some good burst damage if you need that. But overall, not crazy. Iron, she can be pretty decent, I think it is. She does core break in a cross area. I don't like this cross thing because it's really hard to hit. Often 2 core break that people is after each other, and you cannot hit both at once with this normally. So I don't like this pattern overall. Pretty annoying to deal with. But she can do 1 core break damage, do some decent damage. And every 20 seconds, she gets a electrocution that lasts for 10 seconds on a target with a blah blah blah. I don't understand this pretty much. Sounds weird. And she can do some additional damage, single target damage against people with the electrocution. But this one is pretty good though. Upon dealing 8 core damage, not breaking in core but dealing core damage at all allies gain 50% physical penetration for 10 seconds. That is pretty cool. Especially if you run a team with only physical damage dealers, she's probably worth using. And she can gain some physical penetration, stacking up to 20 times if she hits the same enemy with the electrocution. So in a really long battle, she can do massive amounts of damage to a single target. Okay. Tetra, she is pretty unique because of her crime bind that we'll see later. Her attack speed is very high, 1 attack per second. That is pretty high in this game. With her ultimate, she moves to a target grid, dealing massive damage in this kind of square formation, dealing 1 core damage. 1 core damage isn't that high, but she also, over time, when she uses her ultimate, she gains some additional crit damage, stacking up to 5 times, so over the course of the duration, she will get a lot of attack, crit damage, I mean. And if she crits someone, she will stun them for 2 seconds, and this has a 20% cooldown down to a 10-second cooldown. Pretty decent. So if she stands in the background, you can just put her in, stun someone, do some core damage, Pretty cool. Upon breaking a core, all allied centers gain 20% crit for 10 seconds. This is pretty good damage boost for everyone. Especially if you have Bai Yi on the same team, she will just get a lot of value as well. So this is pretty cool. Especially if you have someone that scales with crit. Upon breaking a core. So she needs to be the last one hitting the target, breaking the core, I believe. And with this thing here, when she uses her ultimate, she does the damage, do the core break, and then she instantly returns back to her previous location. So this helps kind of with this stun thing. So she can stand where she hits no one. She can just stand in the background and get the ultimate off, use her ultimate, stun some enemies, do some AoE, core breakage, then she teleports back, she waits, so that's so she doesn't randomly uses up this stun on enemies she doesn't care about. So yeah. She is pretty decent in some situations, but not overall that great. So that is all the Umbra, all the Assassin kind of champions. So overall, Crasher very unique with AoE, A1, and can use this core break very often. Like over time, she can get core breaks more often than anyone else. Really cool. Labyrinth, I forgot, Buggy can do some massive core breakage, 3 core breakages right after the charger, and then she can do some really good damage by herself, a lot of crit and stuff. Labyrinth, her potential is insane. She can get some resets on her ultimate and jump around, use some core breakage all over the place. Pretty cool. Kikabijin, really good against single targets. Damage people and can basically do 2 core breaks, and this can stack up and quickly do 4 core damage. Really good against single targets. Sumire, pretty okay, nothing crazy. I think these other ones is not that crazy. I won't really use them myself, but yeah. So yeah, these assassins are really good doing core break damage, and probably the most used one is gonna be Labyrinth as a B rank, and she is you're guaranteed to get her in the story, I believe. So really good option. Can this store up to 2 charges? Yeah, can store up to 2 charges. So she can also quickly do 2 core breaks right after another. And the positive thing with these champions that move by themselves is that you don't have to use a movement, one of your limited movements to move them. By Yi, you have to move her. But the good thing though is you can use this, use her ability, then you can just not move her for a long time until you can move her. And if you use this, she will instantly once again start getting more energy for the next one. So it's pretty good. So you can just, if there is an enemy with a core, just move her there, move her back maybe. So she can do core break whenever you want, pretty much. Really good. I use her a bunch of times, not all the time, but yeah. Really cool champions there. I recommend using both of these. Really cool. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the Umbras. If you liked, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.